Good morning. How are y'all doing? Oh, looks like I need to get the camera a little closer here. There we go. Who I got with me this morning? And they're gone. Good morning. How are you doing today? I wonder how you do that hand thing. I don't even know how to do that hand. How you do that? I got smiley faces and all, but I ain't got no hand. Oh, there they are. I just seen them. How y'all doing this morning? Uh, Me and Malou, we sat up to nearly 2 o'clock this morning watching a movie. When I turned I can tell you right now, it's 76 degrees. That's perfect weather. Sun's coming up. I see a couple of half white, half gray clouds in the sky, but it's a pretty morning. I may lose in her getting ready for church. So I decided I'd just go live. Yes, it is a beautiful temperature. That's To me, that's perfect. You don't need no air conditioner, and really don't need much of nothing. I do have a little fan going just to keep the mosquitoes blowed away. Well, I still want to try this here. It says on the bottom of my screen, share screen. I don't know what exactly that does. I'd still like to try that sometime. I don't know exactly. I can share my video too. Huh, okay. But I just shared it. I was sharing it on Facebook. Maybe I'll get a few people here to chat with me this morning. made 2 videos lately, and they got a few watch hours, but not many. I need to build my watch hours up bad. Ah, that's good coffee. Heck, I ain't even been up maybe 30 minutes. Got up, made some coffee, drank a little moringa bread. Okay, so it's basically just like StreamYard or something. What's the difference in that and what they say collaborate with somebody? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, collaboration. For example, this other live. Who's that? Who's there?
That's Savior.
I praise the Lord another day, another blessing.
But I hear a while back they were on here, you know, sending messages and you can collaborate with somebody. But I don't know if that's the same thing as what they say when you share a screen. I reckon it's the same thing, right?
No, when you share your screen, they will just see what you're watching or something. That doesn't mean they can come join to your live. It's just like we're discussing. Okay, this is just blah blah blah. Let's just share screen.
Yeah, they are hard to get. What is this? Did you click the share screen thing? Home tab, Windows, entire screen. Wow. I don't like that. It's weird on the eyes. How do I get out of this now? Stop sharing. Okay. So I get it. In case you're having a business meeting and you got something on your desktop that you want to
Yeah.
share with them, you can just share it. Okie dokie. Well, where do you go to collaborate with somebody? I don't know how you collaborate. Let's see. Top chat. That ain't what I'm wanting. I don't see anywhere on here where it says you can collaborate with somebody.
We're not prepared for that. I mean, we should have StreamYard or what if you want somebody to come to your life. It's not that easy. You have there's a program.
I have the bottom right of my screen, I have a dollar sign, a circle with a plus in it, says engage with your audience, and a heart. That's all I got. or actually on the camera screen, bottom right, just has an edit button. All righty. So what are you doing this evening? Just kicking back, relaxing? I don't know if I'm doing my lives too early in the morning or too late. Just don't seem to be getting a lot of people.
Mute it. I don't trust people. Learn how to not trust people so much.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I see somebody else here. Come in, join the conversation. Let us know who you are. That's all that cold weather, the changing weather. Need to make you some chicken noodle soup. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I do know when we were kids, anytime we would feel bad, Mama would make some chicken noodle soup. So I'll take it you grew up that way too then. I kind of halfway got a headache this morning, probably from not getting enough sleep. I got you. I don't think my kids would like to eat my food if I cooked. I've cooked for them before and they just ignored it. So I'm assuming they don't like my cooking.
It's my tummy ache. No.
No, or, no, no. Oh.
Yeah. I'm sleepy, but my head not hurting.
If you go in the house, could you grab me a couple of leaves?
You wanna leave?
Yeah. Savy said to tell you hello.
The movement.
She said something about a boo hot or something. Thank you. Let's see if I can't knock this headache out before it gets too bad this morning.
You need to stay longer there. 1 hour is enough. Did you put some thumbnail on it?
No, every picture I tried to use for a thumbnail, it said was too big.
Oh.
I used to know how to resize a picture, but I can't figure it out now. It's like the just Savvy or Elvis. It's like the
Yeah.
apps I have now don't
Hello.
allow you to resize a picture or something.
Hello, Sabi. I wish you will not do it again the last time
Don't start.
what you did.
He said, "Tell you, you look nice."
Okay.
She don't take a compliment worth a shit. I tell her, "You looking beautiful today." I know it. Is your hair falling out, baby, or just tangled up?
It's usually after shower. You just stay there 1 hour and gather your things. Scan later, you will come back to church, submit it to what you really need to submit to your payment method could be fixed. Your account in AdSense.
No.
Bring out what is needed that you brought. We will scan later. And I will also submit my things for that cyber. So I could not know. So I could be hired for a job. At least when you decide to leave us, we're not that zero naman. We have job. We have a threat in our life, so I have to keep going. My uh, uncle is hurting because of so do it look ano?
Looks
Wrin-
good on you.
Wrinkled, no? I didn't iron this year. No?
It's
No?
not noticeable unless you're looking for it. Where you folded it.
No, it's in the hanger. I have no iron clothes. Correct, so I just
All right, we got some motorcycles drag racing this morning. Dang, sound like they're right here in the subdivision with us. Yeah, these young kids, they'll gut their muffler so their motorcycle's louder. They're not supposed to be allowed to come into the subdivision, but they don't stop them. Yesterday we was down at the clubhouse at a birthday party, and you couldn't even hear nothing. Nobody was saying no. Motorcycles in the background. Run, 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 run. Even the older ladies there were sitting there saying they supposed to not allow that. They don't do nothing about it. And they live right there on that main street, so yeah, I bet you they do get tired of it. And I think they, how many women was it sitting there? All of them had been married to a foreigner.
oh,
Two.
Italian and Norwegian.
Yeah, an Italian. One was married to an Italian. One was married to a Norwegian. I see these two people here. Come on up and talk with us.
I will wait my beer.
About to lose your balance.
You must watch out the weather, huh?
I'm sitting right here. Don't get any power, if any. Those motorcycles don't get any powerful if they take the exhaust off. It actually makes them less powerful. I really don't know one way or the other. I just know they're loud and they don't sound good. It's not like, back in America where people put glass packs on their truck or something. They got that blah, 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 blah. It ain't like that. It just sounds like crap. But I reckon it sounds good to them. Somebody take a 350 and put dual exhaust with glass packs on it. It makes a good sound. You can hear the power. This, it'd be like me putting a open exhaust on a Nissan car or something. Or a lawnmower.
It seems gonna rain, no, honey?
Same. It looks rainy.
Oh.
Yeah, when I first got out now, it was sunny. Now it's getting cloudy like it's gonna rain. I'll watch it. Just leave it hanging there. I'll watch.
Okay. It's already dry. Actually, I just need some sun so I can.
All right.
My foot is hurting.
Yeah. I had probably a 1975 Nissan B210 four-door car. We drove to school. My dad bought it for us just to drive to school. And that's when it first started coming out with all that smog junk. And it had all this crazy looking stuff under the hood. They had one thing over on the side of the fender, looked like a tomato can, and had hoses running to it. Yeah. Yeah, I like to hear that. Unless they're living right next to me, I hear it all the time. Then I'd get tired of it. But anyway, on that Nissan, it just I don't even think they knew what they were doing with all that smog stuff. I mean, it's like the first year or so they come out with all that smog stuff on a car. And first time my dad had to work on that car, he just took all of it off and threw it. But they had one pipe that was connected to the exhaust, and it went around and had a rubber metal line. It went to a rubber line. Is it raining already? Why you come running out there like that? You scared me.
I think it's gonna rain. You got busy there, you like forgot it.
I'm not gonna forget. I'm sitting right here.
It's okay.
But anyway, for some reason we took that little rubber hose off the metal hose that was connected to the exhaust, and that thing would go. I don't know what it was. I really don't. It was standing tall. It looked like a half-gallon tomato can, but it was turned on its side and painted black. I figured it was just something to make it look like it was doing something to make all the government happy. We never even took that can out from under. We just disconnected all the hoses going to it. Anyway, after he took all that stuff off, there was this thing that was shaped like that. that's on the throttle cable, and he just left that on there, and it would move back and forth. We were going down the road one day, and that thing flipped over, and somebody gave it the gas. It hung up. That thing was dang near full throttle. It wouldn't come on. We finally just had to turn the key off and kill it, and get out and figure out what it was and unhang it. That thing hung up full throttle going down the road. I thought that was rain hitting the roof.
No, it's not. Maybe it's just getting that. Where's John?
Just clouds passing by. It might turn around another minute or two and be beating down 100 degrees. The weather here is kind of like the weather in Louisiana. It changes from minute to minute. Yeah. Well, what we were more worried of, it was wanting to do like 100 miles an hour. We couldn't get it to stop. We just turned the key off and killed it.
And it's not being made. Maybe by December. No?
But that poor car went through heck. My dad had bought it for us to go to school in, and my oldest sister drove it, then my next oldest sister, then my brother, then I got it. Can you imagine one vehicle that 4 teenagers drove? It had a rough life. I finished it though. I came around a curve one night, 35-mile curve doing 65. It didn't make it. That kind of wound it up. I think I had my driver's license 2 weeks when that happened. And all my dad had to say about, go get the chain, let's get it out of the ditch before the law gets there. Good morning, everybody. If y'all there on a TV and can't text, at least give me a thumbs up so I know you can see me. If you can text, chat with us. Yeah, that thing was a unibody. It didn't have like a frame. The body was the frame, and after getting it rolled in the ditch and everything else, good morning. We finally just kind of made a dune buggy out of it and used it to drive through the fields or herd the cows. It was like our side by side. It looked like crap, but it would still run. That thing had a good running low engine in it. Little Nissan B210. Oh. I'd go down the road or gravel road, that thing about 35 mile an hour, cut the steering wheel and pull the emergency brake, and that thing would go, start heading the other direction. Malou's getting wanting her son to come on so they can get to church. It ain't at 7:30. Kuya Ben Vlogs. Good morning, Kuya Ben Vlogs. Some of these names of people I can't even pronounce.
Who's that?
Kuya Ben Vlog.
Kuya Ben Vlog, welcome.
I see she can say it, I can't.
Kuya Ben Vlog, welcome. Happy Sunday. I won't be here
Yeah.
in a while. We're going to church.
Yeah, there wasn't much to that thing when we finally got rid of it. I can't even remember why we got rid of it. I reckon my dad just got tired of seeing it sitting around the yard. It was like it was a big mangled up piece of scrap iron, but we still drove it out through the fields. But I reckon he got tired of seeing it out there and he just hauled it off. Oh, I remember now. When I turned 18, I was going to buy my first truck, and my dad took that to the dealer. He was going to help me out. Took it to the dealer, going to trade it in on me in my first truck. And that dealer looked at him, just started laughing, and said, "We don't deal in junk." Yeah, my dad was going to trade it in and help me out getting my first vehicle. I'm a little OCD, y'all.
What OCD?
Attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
Even though now that's better. The camera wasn't level, it was bothering me. Now it's level. Yeah. And believe it or not, that thing, after we wrecked it and all and started driving that out through the fields, around through the mud and the cow manure and all, it really never got rusty. You'd think it would just rust out from all the cow manure and what have you, but it never did. Yeah, that's what that dealer just started laughing, said, "We don't deal in junk." I mean, you got to understand, it had been rolled a couple of times. It was looking rough. But when they rolled it, it crushed the windshield. My dad took it to a body shop and they just jacked the hood back up, the cab back up enough to get a windshield back in it. And that's, as far as the repairs went, there wasn't no body work done, just jack it back up so the windshield would go back in it. That was it. It was looking rough. I was actually at a church youth group meeting one time, and our youth pastor prayed for my car. We don't have any charcoal left, do
I think, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think I use it all. I use it all.
we? Yeah, I think we did.
What you gonna do?
I was gonna make a smudge pot, get some charcoal and that charcoal starter going, and maybe put some leaves and lemongrass on top of it, let it sit there and smoke, get rid of all the mosquitoes. He did. He literally did. It made all the kids laugh. All the other kids running around these Corvettes and what you call it? People back then would buy vehicles that have a special paint jobs done on them. I can't remember what you call that now, but they had like sceneries painted on the side of their vehicles and stuff, and it's a big deal back then. And that's what everybody else was driving. Me, I was driving this squished up beer can. I'm sitting there watching mosquitoes fly around. Muriels, yeah. Well, that's what it was, but I don't think that's what they called it back then. I remember one guy, he had like a Scooby Doo van. He had this big painting on the side of it like a pirate ship, and with the waves and everything, and all kinds of stuff like that. Just they had all kinds of sceneries painted on them. I mean, it was a mural, Don't know. I don't think that's what they actually called it back then. They had some other name for it. Oh, they called it expensive in my book. That's what they called it. I had one guy my age. He was riding around a brand new Corvette. We were farmers. We thought sensibly, not outrageous. The Nissan got us where we needed to go. It didn't cost near as much. They had a mosquito going back and forth in front of my computer screen. It's bugging me. That's how you get rid of them. Just hold this and they'll fly away. He won't be still. I reckon he likes that light from the computer screen. So he's sitting there flying back and forth in front of that computer screen. And I got one of my mosquito zapper lights down here, but he won't fly down there. I don't think that mosquito zapper probably needs cleaning, brushing to get it. 1961. I had a 1976 GMC truck, Ventura van Shorty with a eagle on the side of it. There you go. You drove a T model, which I drove that Nissan to it, just wouldn't go anymore. Oh, 650 chopper, trumpet. Okay. Was your daily driver? After that little Nissan bit the bullet, I bought me a extended cab, 1981 extended cab Nissan pickup truck. That lasted about 3 years till I topped the hill one night and there's a tree laying across the road and I hit it. There's a freaking limb on that tree just about went through that motor. So that wound that one up. Then I bought a 1981 Chevy step side, red with white pinstripes, chrome roll bars with 12-inch tires on it. I was cooling with a little old bitty 305 in it. But it looked good. There's a guy had bought that truck. Even though it looked good, I reckon he wasn't happy with the motor, so he sold it to me. Bought it in boxes, had to put it together before I could drive it. $200. Wow. That's wicked there. A 61 trumpet. Now, I've been wanting, well, not a trumpet, but I'm wanting to kind of do that here. As many motorcycles as there is in this country, they got the bigger, actually not a scooter, but a motorcycle. They put these side cars on. And I know where one is that I think it still runs. They just got a new one and they just parked it over in a shed. I'd love to find something like that and overhaul it and fix it up. Just give me something to do. They got to be a bunch more of them. Like as many motorcycles is in this country, they got to be a couple laying around. I could find just to maybe overhaul them and fix them up, repaint them, overhaul the motors and stuff like that. Just give me something to do, I reckon. Now my brother, talking about the motorcycles. This wasn't in the 60s. This was probably in the 80s. He was already grown, moved out of the house. He built a Harley. I think it had a flathead engine. soft tail, but he built it piece by piece. He would go to these. Uh, what? Do you, all right, I got you. Uh, I'm trying to think of what you call them, like car shows on its motorcycle shows, and he'd go to like these blowouts where all the motorcycles go, and then they sell stuff and buy stuff and all that. He'd go buy some rims and here and a gearbox there and an engine over there and some handlebars here, and he built that motorcycle from the ground up. Uh, he drove it, he built it, got it going, everything was good, looked good on it. Had it painted white. But at the time he was married and his wife refused to ride with him on it, so he got aggravated and sold it. After spending years building it, he got aggravated and sold it. He wishes now he hadn't. His wife has passed on, and now he's wishing he still had his motorcycle. He wouldn't even let me ride it. He didn't trust me. Uh, which I mean, he had good reason. I was kind of wild and crazy. He had gotten a Honda 750 one time from somebody, and he was just gonna like drive it for a week to see if he liked it before he bought it. And I found the key. I took that sucker and topped the hill, and the hill had a curve in it, and I went out through the woods with it. Didn't hurt it. They had been logging right there, and when I ran off the road and went out through them woods, they had almost skidder tracks, and it just stuck out there in that mud. Didn't even fall over. It just went out through them woods and stuck up in that mud. And I had to go get a couple of people to help me pull it out of the mud and wash it off before I could take it back to my brother. Yeah, I never told him about that. Not at that time. I mean, he knows about it now, but so yeah, he didn't trust me too much on his motorcycle. Later in years, I bought me a CB 750. And what was the funny thing about that? I bought that Honda 750 from a police officer, cop, what you want to call him. And I live out in the country, and there's a little country store out there, and this cop's parents owned the store. Well, I'm out in the hayfield one day, and baling hay, but I had my motorcycle parked over at the edge of the field, and I decided I was going to hop on that motorcycle, run up the road about 2 miles to get me a drink. So I take off up the road on that motorcycle, and I pass a cop, and I'm thinking it's the cop that I bought the motorcycle from. So I just threw up a big hand waving at him. That guy did not like that at all. He's woo, because I didn't have no helmet on, shades on, nothing. I'm just like I am right now, going down the road on a motorcycle. He didn't like that. Your brother did the same shit. Yeah, I mean, when the cop passed me, he turned on his lights. I thought he was after somebody else. I didn't know he was even after me. I, I mean, right after I passed him, I pulled into that little store. I get off and start to walk inside, and here comes that cop flying by that store, just squealing his brakes, sliding down the road, like he was after some mass murder or something. He backed back up and flew up in that driveway of that store. What do you think you trying to get away from me? I said, no, I didn't even know you was after me. You pulled up in here trying to hide. I said, no, this is where I was going. I pulled out of a hayfield about a mile down the road. Come down here to get me a drink. But he after that, I learned who that cop was. He was known to be a butthole. Everybody had already He done made his name in the neighborhood. I can still remember his name now, and that's been almost 40 years ago. Yep, I still remember his name. I started to say it, but since I'm on the internet here, I figure I better not. Oh, where'd you go, Nikon? You still with us? John and so Mo. Sound like I don't know if it's a love story. That cost me some money. It's just one of those crazy things we do when we're kids. That's why I keep trying to tell Malou to make her son wear a helmet and this and that and the other because I know what boys do, you know. And she thinks I'm just being mean to him. No, I know what boys do. You know, I am a boy. I, I know he's out there trying to show his butt. And she thinks I'm just being mean to him. Well, he does too. I'm just trying to save his life. They don't like it when I enforce that and wearing a helmet. But yeah, when I was between the age of I'd say 17 and 25, I got pretty wild. There's a bunch of stories I got like that. I've been thrown in jail one night and had to get bailed out. For it's just a car accident. I didn't steal or hurt nobody. I just had a car accident. And I left. You know, I was drunk, so I just kept driving, and they got me for failure to maintain control and DWI and all kind of junk. And all I was trying to do is go watch a Clint Eastwood movie. Just crap happens. I can't even remember what movie it was now, but there's a brand new Clint Eastwood movie come out in the theaters, and I wanted to go see it. I got to the theaters too early; wasn't open yet. So this girl talked me into going down to a bar, and next thing I know, it's 12 o'clock at night. We're coming out of that bar, and I was drunk. Yep, I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that. Or my dad would say, "Are you on drugs? What is your problem? Are you on drugs?" That night I got put in jail. My dad come got me out of jail. Never said a word. And my dad wasn't no easy guy. Even though I was 18, he would beat the shit out of me normally. But we went on there, and he never said a word. Morning. She's at church. Oh, I bet she forgot. Hang on. Uh, what is going on with my phone now? May Lou was supposed to take our neighbor to church with her, and I think she forgot. And now it looks like she ain't going to hear the phone. Let me try this way. Electric lettuce. She probably ain't got no load. Let me try this one more time, y'all. Y'all notice I didn't manage to get away from the vapey, huh? I'll let y'all in on that on a later date. If she's up in the church, hey, can you hear me? Hang on, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that was. I think Maylou promised us. She's like a housekeeper. Works for the people next door, and Maylou promised to take her to church this morning. I think she forgot. I don't know exactly what was going on there, but the lady just come by hunting Maylou to go to church. Yeah, but I got accused of a bunch of things when I was younger, smoking weed and taking drugs, or which all I ever did, I drank. I drank a lot, and it was Jack Daniel Black Label. I drank a lot of it. I would drink a bottle straight, just for kicks. Uh, I got kind of stupid there for a while, so I could have smoked weed. I had plenty of it offered to me. I just never did. Hey, somebody told me, and I've used this. And any of y'all that's watching, y'all could tell your kids or tell your kids to tell their kids or whatever this. And this is how I stayed away from drugs. When people would offer me drugs, as an old man told me, he said, all you need is an excuse. And said, I mean, they're not going to hold you down and make you take a drug. So all you need is an excuse. Somebody offers you, hey, man, you want to smoke a joint with me? I said, nah, I got enough habits. That's all I done. They say, oh, okay. They never pushed the issue. I just said, nah, I got enough habits. I don't need any more. So, and they would never had no problem. Electric lettuce. But anyway, that worked. And I was getting pretty, my life was going to crap on the whiskey. I didn't need marijuana too. At the time, though, I thought I was having fun. I'll tell y'all another thing I learned when I was young. I'm a farmer, country boy. I didn't get out much until after I uh, got grown, you know. So I was kind of reserved. Not, I don't know if you'd say shy, but I didn't go up there and just start hitting on girls, stuff. I was kind of, I reckon you should call it shy or whatever. I don't know what you call it. But I would was raised the old-fashioned way. You call a girl up, and you ask them out, approve it with her parents and all that. Then you go to her house and you meet her parents, and the old-fashioned way. That's the way I was raised to do things. Well, and when I was a girl come up, it wasn't like that anymore. Everybody just meet up in town or whatever. You meet some girl in town, pick them up, and go riding or do whatever you're gonna do. So anyway, one night I'm sitting in town at a Sonic drive-in. Yeah, but I was sitting at a Sonic drive-in. That's kind of where all the teenagers in my hometown hung out. And I was sitting on my tailgate at the Sonic drive-in, and I was just people watching. And there's these two particular guys. They both looked like they were born with an ugly stick on their face. I mean, they were just, one of them had a face like a bulldog, and the other one wasn't nothing special. Neither one of them really had a lot of money or anything. They didn't have nothing that nobody else had, but they were just freaking crazy, just wild and crazy. They'd go around spinning their tires and doing circles in the parking lot, just blowing smoke, acting like a wild animal. Well, guess what? I noticed they always had the most beautiful girls in the whole town. Always. I said, it's not hard to act stupid. So about that time, that's when I wrecked that little Nissan truck and I bought the red step side. And it wasn't nothing, it looked good, but it wasn't nothing special. It didn't have no big motor in it. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't pay but $13,000 for the truck. And but I was doing it for a test, just to see what would happen. I stayed away from town for a month or two because I had a wreck, didn't have no vehicle. But when I got my new truck, I started going to town and I just started acting stupid. But I was doing it on purpose just to see what would happen. I just went to town just acting like I didn't give a crap. Trying to watch my words now. But I didn't ever try to talk to a girl, nothing. I just was having a good old time. Guess what? I never asked another girl out for a date. I would come to town and they'd start jumping up in the truck with me. So what does that say? Yes, I'm in Antipolo, or Angono, which is right next to Antipolo. It's like 5 minutes down the road. Actually, I'm between Antipolo and Angono, so I'm in the middle. But it's 3 or 4 minutes to Angono and 3 or 4 minutes to Antipolo, so it's not far. Anyway, that's my story. How I learned how to pick up girls when I was young. Just act stupid. But the problem is, the one problem with that story is if you act stupid long enough, you become stupid. You really, when you having fun and acting crazy and getting the girls and just having a good time, well, it gets to a point where it's not an act anymore. And that was my downfall. I started going to town every night of the week drinking a bottle of Jack Daniel. So it got to a point where it wasn't an act anymore. When I breaking my neck, I don't know if y'all see me on my videos, I don't bend my neck a lot. I broke my neck, and guess what? All them good time friends in town, never seen them again. Not one of them came to the hospital. Not one of them came to my house when I was laid up for months with a big old cast around my neck, None of them. I never seen none of them. And that taught me a lesson. Them kind of people are just your friends as long as they're having fun. But when things are serious, they're not your friends anymore. So that's where I get the basis of my life from, right there. Treat people the way you want to be treated. If you're a friend, be a friend. If you're not somebody's friend, don't act like you are. Just, I'll speak to anybody. Now, I ain't gonna be mean and ugly or nasty to anybody. But, I ain't gonna go out of my way to be your friend if I don't like you. If I like you, I'm gonna let you know I like you. You're my friend. You know? So anyway, that's my lesson of the day of growing up. Everyone has a different number. I just made a video about that Nikon. See what I say it was. Was I wrong about the Philippines? Uh, that's the video. It'll go in more depth if you want to watch that. But I would say right here, just off the top of my head, I'd say at least 2,000. But if you want to watch the video, it goes into more detail. Uh, I explain a lot of the different points in the video. Icon 1961. You're the same age as my older sister, if that's your date of birth year, 1961. And we had my sister was in 61, my brother was in 62, and I was in 63. Or my sister might have been 60, I'm not sure. But you can live comfortable here, I'd say. I ain't saying you can become no king or anything, but you can live comfortable here if you have $2,000 a month. I'll put it this way: you won't be stressed about anything. But I reckon I could say I've always been a little different. I've never had like a buddy club that hung out and all that. And maybe that has something to do with what happened when I broke my neck and seen how people were. Uh, I don't know. I just never have had the big, you know, I know other guys that have a group of guys hanging out their you know, every day, you know. And I don't know. That never been me, I reckon. Y'all, this morning it was looking beautiful earlier this morning. Now it's what? Look at the time, 8:07, and it looks like it's 5 in the morning out here. Just dark and dreary looking. Oh, so what's everybody doing this morning? Y'all talk to me a little bit. Yep, yep. Exactly. Rained 2 days straight, nonstop. Mm. Well, that happens a lot here. Talking about raining 2 days straight, and I don't forgot what year it was, but I was in the dairy business, and my sister had moved up to Oregon. A lot of flooding here. I hate to hear that, but it was around the 1st of January. My mom and dad decided to go up to Oregon to visit them. I reckon it kind of depends on how much you're getting on Social Security. I'm collecting disability, but I know the longer you wait, the more you'll get. So uh, I'm not gonna give anybody financial advice on that one. Me personally, I would have just took it at 62. I wouldn't have, because your days, you don't have a expiration date. You don't know when when your last day here is. So why wait till you day before your expiration date before you retire? You know what I mean? Uh, After 67, I don't know if it makes much difference between 67 and 70, though. I don't know if there's a difference there or not. I know 67 is what they call full retirement. So that was my thinking on it. Even if I hadn't got injured, I was planning on retiring at 62 simply because I, I wanted to enjoy a few years of my life. I've worked since I was 6. So I wanted to enjoy a few years of my life before I'm gone. That's why I wanted to retire at 62. But when I was 6 years old, my dad got sick and went in the hospital, and me and my brother, we went to work. And I've never gotten away from work since. I've worked from then until now. I actually started my first business when I was 6, a live fish bait business. I'd sell live fish bait to the fishermen in the neighborhood. And I did that just to pay for my chew tobacco. So I started chewing at 6. But and I've never had a. I take that back. I was thinking to say I've never had an office job, but I have, but it didn't last very long. I used to be a catastrophic insurance adjuster, which you still had to go out and measure the houses and climb on the roofs and all that, but then you'd have to sit in the office and do all the computer work. Uh, Back to what I was saying about my parents had went to Oregon to see my sister because she had just had a baby, and they left me there on the dairy by myself. And from January the 1st to January the 30th, it rained. Not constant rain, but it rained every day for 30 days in the middle of winter. That was one of the wet, muddiest, soupy mess. You take cold weather when things don't dry, rain, and then you take a couple hundred head of cows walking through that dirt and that mud, and it just makes it deeper and deeper and deeper. Next thing you know, their bellies are rubbing in the mud, and then when you go to milk them, you got to stand and scrub all that crap off. And they got on their udders, it's hairy, so all that mud sticks to that hairy cow bag and just dries. Then it just turns like rock. You guys there and scrub that stuff off and below freezing temperatures, and yeah, that was one miserable January. I was so glad to see spring. But yeah, that was miserable. I'm not a winter person anyway. After I got older and got heavier, winter don't bother me that much. But when I was young and I was skinny, I was like a toothpick. Man, I froze to death every freaking winter. I would be just I, from the 1st of November till May. I would wear insulated coveralls. That's how cold natured I was. But I learned one thing one year, which if you're in the dairy barn milking the cows, one end of the dairy is open. It's no wall. It's just wide open. So you just got 3 walls. So the wind ain't hitting you, but it's the cold air from outside is it there. Well, I bought me some of them white Tyvek suits, and I did trying to stay dry because when it's 30 degrees and you're soaking wet, you're freezing. So I bought that Tyvek suit and it's waterproof, but I didn't realize it's also airproof. And you could milk them cows in that Tyvek suit and you'd stay warm because I mean it wasn't no air. You was kind of holding that air in. And that was an added benefit. So I bought a whole box of them things. I'd wear them all winter long. I might look like the Michelin uh, man or something, not the Michelin man. What you call the guy to build out of marshmallows? The Marshmallow Man. I have not, Mr. Rick. I have not had a chance to get any medical insurance yet. I want it. I've done been in the hospital twice since I've been here, but I can't afford to get any right now. We've called and talked to some people about different insurances. There's a lot of different insurance companies here. I'm kind of narrowing down to ones called Pacific Cross, like Blue Cross, only Pacific Cross is the one I'm think I'm gonna go with when I get enough money. I'm actually able to get some. Uh, Malou and her son don't have insurance neither. We all need to get insurance. That's and the fact that I've done been in the hospital twice is one of the reasons I can't afford to get insurance because we is broke. I mean, retirement age is 60 in Canada, Elvis? Michelin Man, yes. Okay. Yeah. You wear those big old baggy white Tyvek suit, like Michelin Man or space astronaut or something or another. Like you working on some biohazard stuff. Hard to, I wish you could just post like a picture on here. I'd show you all some of the jobs I had. I've had jobs where there's hazardous chemicals around, and I had to wear them old white Tyvek suits with gloves taped around my wrist, full face mask, hard hat. I mean, you couldn't even tell who nobody was. You walking around like that. And at the end of the day, they had a sea crate with doors on both ends. So you'd come up that first one, you take all that off without touching the outside of it, put it in a trash can. Then you would take your face mask and you had a solution, you'd clean it in, a couple of different solutions, set it off to dry, change your air filters on it while you're there. Then you wash your boots with some soap and all this kind of stuff to decontaminate them. Then you'd walk through that sea crate and put on you some clean clothes or whatever you wanted to wear. Okay. Well, in the U.S., it's full pension is 67, but you can retire at 62 and start drawing Social Security. So I didn't know if you could do that at 60 in Canada or not. Uh, oh, wow, only half? That ain't worth a crap. It ain't quite that bad in the states. You do get more if you wait till 67, but it ain't half. Say, like, I think the average Social Security in America is like 1,100, or at least it was a couple of years ago. It might be changed by now. But if you wait till you were 67, it'd be more like 1,800. So that's not half, but it's a little more than half. So, uh, which all that depends on the job and how much you paid in over the years and blah 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 blah. But uh, my disability was 1,700 when I become disabled, and they tell me now that I'm 62. Well, it'll continue to be disability until 67. Then My check will be the same. Nothing will change but the name. At 67, I'll be taken off disability and put on retirement. You know, Social Security, not this, but insurance, just social retirement. But they said the money won't change, nothing else will change, just the names. And they may not even tell me that it's changed, but I'll continue to get the same check, blah, 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 blah. Oh, so see, even if you retire at 60 and get half pension, at full pension age, you'll get the rest of your pension. Well, it don't work that way in America. When you retire is what you get. So if you retire at 62, you get this amount. If you keep working till you're 67 or something, you'll get a different amount. If you retire at 62, that's what you get. You're just going to keep on getting that. Every year you're going to get a COLA bump, like 3% or something another. Cost of living bump. It's funny how different countries do it different. Here, Malou's dad, I think he gets something like maybe $100 a month. That's all he gets. That ain't much to live on, is it? $100 a month, and it cost us that just about that in food here, which is it's more than one person. It's three of us here, but we spend almost $100 a week here on just food. We're not eating steaks neither. Uh, we just, we're not eating dog food, but we're not eating steaks. We're just, like go to the grocery store and buy the cheapest thing we can find to buy. In fact, this morning I had moringa bread for breakfast. That was it. Just like three of these little bread rolls. That's all I ate. And I might try to get me an egg later. Cook me a scrambled egg. But other than that, that's it. We don't eat enough. I've lost about 6, 7, 6, 7 pounds, I think it was. Since I got here, I lost a few pounds of weight. Which before I got here, y'all got to understand, I was laid up in a bed for dang near 2 years. So I put on weight just laying there in that bed, not able to get up and do anything. So when I first got here, I was out of shape, and I'm still not in the best shape. Ooh, it's getting darker and darker, y'all. Let me turn on this light, see if that will help. I think it's fixing to go to rain in here shortly. I think that helped a little bit on the camera, didn't it? I turned on a little 4-foot fluorescent light here. Now, if I hadn't got hurt, I don't know. I say I was going to retire at 62. I might have kept working. What you mean? I was working at 61. I got hurt when I was 61. This is a rental house. Uh, I might go in deeper depth on that on a video soon, but right now we're living in a rental house and we're being told maybe in a year we're going to move, maybe sooner. I don't know. The guy that owns the house texted Malou and said he wanted to come by for a visit, so we don't know what that's about. But right now we're just renting. And we have been looking and looking and looking, and we can't find any other rentals around here that we can afford. The new rental prices have gone way up, uh, which this house was basically condemned when Malou first moved in, and they've done a lot of work. Wow. I'm not good in math. Let me convert that. 5,000, $89. Holy cow! I wish. I don't know what the kilowatt rate is, but yeah, our electric bill is about 2 to 250 a month, and we don't run it 24 hours a day. It's not on right now. This computer and that light I just turned on is the only thing turned on right now. Everything else in this house has been turned off. Malou don't even leave things plugged in. Uh, Anytime we're not using something, it's unplugged or turned off. No problem. No problem, Elvis. Uh, you do what you got to do. And if I'm hungry, I ain't gonna sit here and type on a computer. I'm gonna eat. The nanny's over here yelling at somebody. Oh, yeah. I bought my comfortable chair out here this morning. I figured I was gonna be here a while. I can kind of lean back in this one. These other chairs is like they just like them white plastic chairs, and you see in America, for the lawn chairs, but the white plastic that always break. Well, these are about half the size. Not something you want to sit in long term. That's what they use at Malou's church. These same little plastic chairs. They don't have pews and all like you do in America. I don't reckon they do anything with wood any more than they have to. Apparently, just imagine what if it was if we left the air conditioner on 24 hours a day. Uh, I'd be broke. I think my electric bill in America with a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, big den, big utility room. I got like a 20 by 20 utility room with a couple freezers in it and stuff like that. Ain't but I don't know, maybe if I leave everything running, and there's a couple people living there, it might be 200, a little over 200 a month. I'm thinking here, I want to go solar. That's an outrageous price for me. I've already been kind of pricing around trying to find some solar panels at a decent price. But we were looking at renting another house here, and it had a balcony upstairs, but it wasn't no roof. I had talked to the man about, if I put some legs up there and built a roof with solar panels, would he be okay with that? Yeah, he'd be okay with that, but then he turned around and told me he wanted $500 a month rent, and in a year from now he's going to take that second floor and make another apartment out of that for somebody else to live on top of you. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Huh? Where are you, Nikon? I know you. I've probably asked you that before, but I can't remember. Back home where I'm at from, they have them meters. They don't even come out to your house and read them. They just read it from their office somehow or another. I don't know how they do it. Oh, okay. Well, maybe she needs to have this one recalibrated.
Sir,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
raining.
Oh, it's raining? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Hang on, y'all. Thank you. All righty, y'all. It was starting to rain. I had to get the clothes in out of the rain. Sorry about that. I know May lose her OCD, whatever. She won't be happy the way I hung them. She has a certain way to hang all her clothes. They can't just be hung. They got to be hung in a certain order. Beats anything I ever seen. But I'm gonna have to get Malou to call the power company and see if they can have them recalibrated here, because it just seems to be high. Uh, 12 pesos per kilowatt. Uh, I'm about to find out what she's paying here. Cause heck, she said where her dad lives, which I mean they don't have nothing but a light bulb and a fan. One light bulb and a fan. That's probably all they have. But they pay $4 a month electric bill. I like that. I was hoping when I moved here we'd be able to find some land somewhere and build a little house on it. And I could put solar on it and just go totally off grid. But my hopes are slowly being dashed away because we can't find no land that ain't just outrageously priced. Yeah, I would be seriously in a doghouse because all that's her precious John's school uniforms. And there ain't nothing more important than her precious John. You would think that boy would be is the Messiah. It's it's sprinkling so light. It's more like a kind of looks like snow. It don't even look like rain. It just kind of looks like snow falling out there, or like a heavy mist or something. I don't know what you call it, but you can't even hear it. How the neighbor knew it was raining and yelled at me to get the clothes, I don't know, but all the neighbors here look out for one another when it comes to clothes hanging on the line. When it starts raining, you'll hear all the neighbors start yelling at all the other neighbors, it's raining, get your clothes. I mean, they're saying it in Tagalog, but that's what they're saying. And everybody comes running out of the house and grabbing clothes. 5 minutes later, quits raining, they'd be hanging them back out. Another 5 minutes, they'd be grabbing them up because it started raining again. They do that all day long till the clothes are dry. And they think nothing of it. I've been thinking about building a pipe rail on a track that she can hang her clothes on and just kind of roll it out into the sun. If it starts raining, she can just roll the whole thing back in. Just if I had my own house, I'd probably build something like that for her. That way she ain't got to unhang them and all that. She just take the track and pull it back in out under the roof. I got to remember that. I'm bad with names and numbers, y'all. 12 pesos per kilowatt. I got to remember that. So if I like, I'll use Elvis for test subject here. If I can't remember y'all's name, like his name is Savvy Living Adventures, I can remember that because I'm looking at it. But if I couldn't remember his nickname was Elvis, which ain't his real name, but his nickname, y'all please bear with me because I am bad with names. Now, if I meet you in person and talk to you in person a time or so, I can remember your name. But just somebody basically in passing or somebody on a computer screen, I can't remember. It ain't because I don't think you're important. It's just I can't remember. I've always been that way. I would make a crappy salesman. Yeah. You, have you ever been to a meat packers where they got the rails to hang meat on? They can roll it. I was thinking about something like that, just with a pipe rail under it, that they hang the clothes on. That whole rail just rolls out back in. That's what I was thinking. I bet she would love it. There's tile string on it. On the end, it hangs down, and she can grab a hold too and just. I mean, I've got all kind of ideas like that. If we could ever find some land and build a house, but I'm coming up against two stone walls. One, She don't want to live out in the country. She likes her little concrete jungle here. And two, we can't afford nothing. They're if somebody told us about a house down here on the other end of this block that was for sale, and it's a little smaller than this house. And they were like wanting 5 million for it, which is $100,000. That is ridiculous. That's about a $20,000 at the most house. Uh, I would say probably more along the lines of 15 because it's smaller than this, and it's probably a 40 years old, little bitty small concrete block house. Now I guarantee it's like one plug in maybe in each room. It's completely out of date. And no, that's not worth $100,000. But that's what they're asking for it. That's just crazy. Just crazy as hell. And the water tower for this subdivision is a big concrete water tower on four legs. Big. And guess where it is? It's right beside that house. If you ever had an earthquake or something and it caused that thing to crash, whoever lives there is dead. That's not the most ideal place in this subdivision. Now, it is on the back corner, which makes it a little more quieter. That's about the only thing it has going for it. They, at the main entrance of the subdivision, they got like a guard shack. Right inside the guard shack, they have one house. The second house is for sale, and it's just identical to this one. But it's right there on the main street and with 10,000 motorcycles coming by every day, and it's just as old. It's 40, 50 years old. All the concrete's cracking and falling apart, and it had to be totally redone. They're wanting, what do they say, 24, $70,000 for it. Not worth it, people. So, I'm kind of curious if back in the U.S. in 2008 and 9, they had the bubble burst and all the housing market crashed. I'm just wondering if something like that is going to happen here. I don't know enough about the Philippine government and economy, so I don't know, but I just get that feeling because the prices are crazy expensive. Sooner or later, the bubble's got to burst. I mean, way out in the province that you can't even get a vehicle to. You got to walk down a path 15 minutes to get to it. Now they're asking, 100, 20, 40, $60,000 for a little bitty piece of property. I mean, a little bitty piece of property. That's just crazy. First of all, I don't want no property that I can't take my vehicle to. What you do? Park out on the side of the road and walk up in the woods to your land? Come back next morning, you wouldn't have a vehicle. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, I agree with you, Elvis. Uh, but I cannot get Malou to even help me go look. She thinks you need $1 million before you go look. So, and she said, "Well, you need to sell your land in America so we can have the money." I'm like, "No, I'm not going. Well, once I sell that land, it's gone. So if I sell that land and we don't find anything in our budget, now I'm out my land and I don't have no land. So, you know, that's not going to happen." Me and her been butting heads on that one. I done sit here and let my coffee get cold. And she has her way of thinking, and I don't know. I don't have the answers. Nobody. Uh, the thing about a fixer upper here, I'll give you a little insight on this. If you buy some land and you want to build a house, you got to go through the process of getting all the permits, which could take a year here in the Philippines, 2 years. If you buy a house with a house, buy some land with a house already on it, you can fix that house up or modify it or add on to it or whatever. You don't need a permit. There's a guy just remodeled a house right around the corner here and told me that. He said you don't have to have a permit to remodel your house or to upgrade it or anything like that. But to build a new house, you do. You need a permit. It is what it is. So it might be worth it to buy a house, if it ain't but a one-room shack on it. At least you just say, "Hey, I'm modifying this house," or fixing it. Yeah, that way you ain't got to go through all the permits. Well, I don't want to, Elvis. Actually, I have two separate pieces of property in America. They're about 2 miles from one another. There's the property I live on, which is about 13 acres, and the other property is almost 11. It's 10 point something, almost 11 acres. If I sold one or the two, it'd be the other property, not the property I live on. But the problem with that property, it's basically like in a family compound. I mean, it ain't really a compound per se, but family owns all the land around it. And I wouldn't want to sell my land to a stranger in the middle of all their land. So if I sold it, I'd want to sell it to somebody in the family. Well, it's the same thing what I'm doing right now. My daughters, I got two daughters. Excuse me, $2 and two grandkids that are living in my house in the U.S. right now. And I kind of wanted that because you take a house and just shut it up and it's going to go start rotting down. Yeah, 7,000 to 10,000 per square meter in the city, 1,000 to 3,000 for rice field. Yep, that's. I've even seen 5,000 for the rice field, or not rice field, but province land. I've, I've that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Elvis. That's exactly what I was thinking. Just build on to it, then destroy the old part, or use the old part for a garage, or modify it to make that your garage or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, same thing I was thinking. Can y'all hear this kid across the street here? This is every day. It sounds like they just pulling this kid, little boy's toenails out one by one. Now they got the whole family involved in trying to do something with him. I don't know what's going on. As I told Malou, my dad told me to Boy, you want to cry? I'll give you something to cry about. Yeah. Believe it or not, back home where in Louisiana where I live, it wasn't but a few recent years ago we didn't need permits there out in the country. You would in the city. But now, yeah, they've gone permit crazy out there now. You can't do nothing without a permit. They've gone crazy with that crap. And all that is some of those little local town people that think they're better than everybody wanting to get a little money from everybody that does anything. They want to get a little money from it. That's all that is. Well, I finally finished my coffee at almost 9 o'clock in the morning, y'all. I've been sipping on that for since 7. Oh, we have 6 people here. Who all still here? Nikon still here. Oh, I forget my computer screen is not a touch screen. Rick Hung, Rick Spong, Spawn, Rick Spawn. You still here, Rick? It sounded like yeah, it did. I got y'all a story there. Uh, when we were kids, I was 10, 11 years old. We had our land. The land across the street wasn't ours, but it was wooded. It was the neighbor's land, but it's wooded. But right next to the road is a little clearing, and we'd go over there in that little clearing right across the road from the house. It'd be safe, and then we'd have bonfires at night. Us kids out there playing. One night we out there, and all of a sudden we hear something way on the other side of the wood. Sound like kind of like a baby crying. We all stopped. We sitting there listening. All of a sudden, it's in the fall of the year, so all the leaves are on the ground. You hear them leaves through them woods. Then it stopped right behind a bush right there next to us. And I'm getting the flashlight and I'm fixing to go around the bush, look and see what it is. And all of a sudden, he lets out that scream again. I turned around and I'm the only one there. Everybody else done gone. They left me. And I turned around and took off running to the house. And I got there, and my dad said he heard it. And he said it sounded like a bobcat. But they said it was a bobcat. So it sounded like either like a woman screaming or a baby crying. That's what a bobcat sounds like. But it scared the out of me. I bet y'all went from across the road, where we was at, across the road there, through the yard to the house, and I bet it didn't take but 3 steps. I was booking it. I turned around, I had all my sisters and all was there too, but they all done just left me, didn't say a freaking word. I'm out there right by myself. Yeah, it probably didn't take me about 3 steps, and I was like a Superman. Oh. But I've only seen 2 or 3 bobcats there in Louisiana in my lifetime. I reckon they're there, but you just don't see them very much. Kind of elusive. I was going down the road one day in my truck, and there's a bobcat sitting in the ditch, just sitting there watching the traffic go by. I'm like, check that out. Freaking bobcat sitting there out there in the ditch, just watching people go by. I don't know what was going on with the baby, but they all went down there, and maybe he fell down and scraped a knee or something, but he got him quiet now. But I got directly over here, there's a house with babies, and directly over here, there's a house with babies. There's three babies over here, and one over there. But between the four, there's always one of them screaming around here all day and all night. And Lou don't understand why I don't want to live this close to people. If I want to step out of my house and out in the yard and take a piss, I want to be able to do it without flashing the countryside and getting arrested. Yeah, I see that boy over running around now, so all's good that ends good, I reckon. That's the test of how far in the country I want to live. If I can walk out in the yard and pee without somebody seeing me. When I get to that point, I'm far enough out in the country, I'm okay. It's not that I don't like neighbors, I just don't like them living right next to me. Like right here behind this wall here, this guy's got a row of fighting roosters and pens over here. The neighbor next to him has a bunch of fighting roosters that crowing all the time. The neighbors on the other side of the street got two dogs tied up in a little cage, like a 3 foot by 3 foot cage. They just leave them there. They never even take them out of that cage. So they just sit there and howl 24 hours a day. Yeah. They would have that night. My clothes probably turned red with a lightning bolt down it that night. But see, I could tell you something like that that's funny to Malou, and she just, oh, she, there's a big separation in American humor and Philippine humor. I don't even try anymore. She just don't get it. Oh, speaking of jokes, I don't know how many Filipinos are here, but I'm gonna tell y'all a joke. I might make some of them mad. I seen this on TV the other day. Two men were debating. One man is saying, "We need to get rid of all these guns in the U.S." So there's 30,000 people that get killed with guns every year. Another man says, "Yep, yep, there's 30,000 people get killed with guns in America every year. But there's 50,000 people get killed in car wrecks every year. Do we need to get rid of all the Asian women?" I was listening to a comedian on TV the other day, and he told that joke. I thought it was kind of funny. 50,000 people get killed in car wrecks every year. Do we need to get rid of all the Asian women? It didn't say Philippine women now, it said Asian. That's a well known joke in the U.S. Asian women can't drive. Malou has no concept of that. I figured up the miles from here to her father's house. I could went to kilograms and converted to miles and figured up all that. It would take us maybe an hour and a half to drive from here to her dad's house if it was in the U.S. Here it takes 10 to 14 hours to drive there. They have no concept of what it would be like different. And some of it's because of the curvy road, it's mountains. You got to go around the curves and all that, so therefore you're not going to get up no 70 mile an hour. And I figured out that about 60 miles an hour in the U.S., not 70. But, you just can't get no speed up here to get anywhere fast. But I don't know if any of y'all got any insights. Let me in on it, because I can't figure it out what to do. What's the next step? Uh, I don't want to live out the remainder of my days sitting in this concrete subdivision, not doing nothing. I mean, I don't even have a decent flower bed to plant anything in. All right, you have a good day, a good night. I reckon it's getting about 8 o'clock or something there. Well, you have a good night's sleep, man. Y'all take it easy. Now, if Elvis ain't gonna talk to me, some of y'all other folks need to chat up and let's talk some. That's the reason I like Elvis to come to my live stream. At least he'll talk to me. Some of y'all sitting off in the dark there, sitting in the dark just watching. Don't ever say nothing. I mean, I understand some of you watching on TV, at least here, when I watch YouTube on TV, there's no way to text. So you have to watch on your TV, and then on your phone, you text with the phone and watch it on the TV. That's the way I do it. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this collaboration thing, or collaborate with other people. Let me see if I can see something here. Send feedback, nope. Settings, pop out dashboard, nope. Manage, what are you going to manage? You don't have access to this feature, okay. You don't have access to this feature. So let's see what manage does, y'all. Manage don't do nothing. Click on it and nothing happens. Okay. Click out dashboard. That ain't doing nothing. It's just comes up there, tell me I got 4 current views. Chat rate is 0, 42 views overall. My signal is excellent. That's all that is. They don't tell me nothing. $8 p.m. All right. You have a good night's sleep, Elvis. You see, Malou had texted me. Tell her just follow here. Then good authority. I don't know who the heck this is. Boo Kidnon Langaka. Authority. I don't know what the heck that is. 1,200 people follow this garden center. Okay, I'm happy for you. Why y'all sending me a text? I don't even understand what you're trying to text me. Oh, they want you to look at their website, order plants. Now, if I had some land, I might order some plants, but I don't have no land. I planted some tomatoes and I took kind of like a Clorox jug, but it's a 1 gallon alcohol jug and cut the tops out of them. I planted some tomatoes in it. You know, there ain't no place here to plant anything. And the dirt I got from the neighborhood here is just red clay mud. It has no value to it for the plant. So if I had my own land, I'd start much as things grow here. I'd make me a compost pile and start farming my own compost to put it under my plants and stuff. I used to mow these people's yard in a subdivision, but it was like 4 houses. And right in the corner of the 4 houses, everybody would cut their grass and dump it in that one pile. And that pile of grass was probably big as a above ground swimming pool. And it was probably about 3 feet deep. But you could dig down the bottom of that pile of grass, and that was some of the prettiest freaking soil you ever seen in your life. Just slam full of earthworms, big old like cool cat earthworms. They don't have cool cats in Louisiana, but they look like cool cat earthworms down under all that grass and stuff. That was some of the prettiest freaking soil. I reckon all that just that fresh cut, chopped up grass, so it composted pretty quick and easy. I would love to. They told me just between the 4 houses, if any of them needed any topsoil for a flower bed or something, they'd go over and get it, you know. So I doubt they'd be wanting to give it to me, but I thought it was cool anyway. Now I hear kids over here going, yay! Loquat seeds? Wow, and pots? Must be some pretty good sized pots, huh? I'm trying to think of what a loquat is. It's kind of, is a loquat kind of like a kumquat? In Louisiana, we have these little bitty little citrus thing called a kumquat. Is that about the same thing as a loquat? But I think kumquats have to have a winter to produce. You got to go through that winter cycle before they produce in the spring. Uh, which they have these here. I'd love to have some mulberry trees, uh, the jackfruit trees, the rubicon trees. I would like to plant a little bit of everything. That way, you always have some kind of fresh fruit that you can pick and eat and what have you. I'd love to plant some pineapples. I watch Rose's channel, and she's always planting pineapples. So I'd love to be able to do that. I'm surprised she's not online this morning. She's usually online. Usually when she goes live, I get a post, but maybe she went to church this morning. She didn't go live. Uh, I'm gonna Google that. What is a loquat? Loquat. Loquat plant. Heirloom fruit trees. Let me look at some pictures, images. Okay, Japanese loquat. Is your loquat trees producing anything yet? Kind of curious. I don't know if I've ever had one. They kind of look like a persimmon to me. Kind of like a orange looking miniature apple or something. Wow. 5 years. Man, I don't know if I'd still be around when they started producing. Are they natives here, or did you bring the seeds in with you and plant them? Loquats. So you brought the loquat seeds with you from America, or did you find some here? Oh, bought them online? Okay. Not from Lazada, huh? I wish I. Huh, okay. Have you ever seen any for sale here? You know, the fruit? I was wondering if I could find some and try them. I don't know if I'd like them or not. They look tasty, but I don't know. I have seen mulberry trees here, which I didn't know they were native here. Uh, I love mulberries. We have those in Louisiana, but they will stain you purple. Okay. I have to do some more research on them, which I ain't got money to order anything online right now anyway. But would you need to get some good sandy, loamy soil to plant them in a pot? That would be my second challenge. I'd have to find some decent soil to probably have to buy some in a sack or something. See, that kind of stuff I'm not used to from back home. You want some good soil, you know, these places on your property, you can just go get some. Yeah, it is a challenge, uh, which I haven't looked because I ain't been here that long. But can you buy potting soil like at a store? Uh, I've been to hardware stores, but I really hadn't ever been to like a nursery type store. I've seen some, but we just hadn't stopped. Malou is not interested in anything to do with plants or animals or anything like that. She has no desire to know anything about it. I wonder if you could buy some of their pot and saw and maybe put some additives in it yourself to help get it, up to a decent soil. I mean, if I can find the ingredients, I can mix up some soil. I know what I need. I just need to find the right ingredients. You need some composted material. You need a little sand and blah blah blah. Little chicken manure. I've seen some neighbors had some chickens over here, and they had some cardboard under it. I was telling Maylou, I wonder if they'd let me get some of that chicken manure I could put on my tomato plants. But she's not even interested. You try to talk to her about something like that, and she just Turns her hearing aid off, I reckon. She just don't even hear you. So, oh, tried this oil. It's not good. He's mountain. Uh, that Texas Filipino, he's been here a long time. I wonder if he knows. Well, his wife's one does all the plants and all. I wonder if she knows where you can get good soil from. Here in this subdivision, they just stick stuff in a plastic pot and get this old nasty red clay and they plant stuff in it. I reckon what you kind of need, because you don't know the country here, at least I don't, is a good soil test kit. Need to all, test the soil. I learned back in America when we was farming, that goes a long way if you run a good test on your soil to see what it needs and everything. Yeah, like at Texas Filipina, they have a couple of cows, and I think they do go out there and scrape up the cow piles. Uh, I like chicken piles, which are smaller piles, but I used to grow acres and acres and acres of vegetables and peppers and stuff like that, and which there's chicken farms nearby, and I would buy truckloads of chicken farms. I'd put 4 tons of chicken manure to the acre. Now, all the statistics say 2 tons is all you need, but I put 4. And I had some beautiful, beautiful plants. Uh, I knew a guy that grew like 100 acres of corn every year, and he wouldn't fertilize with nothing but chicken manure, just dried. You got to make sure it's dry. You can't use fresh chicken manure, but dried chicken manure, and it would stink until the next rain. When you put it out in the field, you could smell it until it rained again. It'd kind of wash it in the ground. It'd quit smelling, but it will make some beautiful plants. Beautiful plants. That corn he would grow would be so dark green, which I don't know if y'all could see colors here good, but it it would be several different shades darker green, almost blackish looking, compared to the people using synthetic fertilizer. That always fascinated me. And if you figure up the price of synthetic fertilizer compared to the chicken manure fertilizer, it's about the same price. you know. And the biggest difference is synthetic fertilizer. When you put it on the ground, it does what it's going to do right then. Within a month, it's done what it's going to do. Chicken manure fertilizer is basically decomposing into the soil, and it's releasing nutrients in the soil over a long period of time. So therefore, you don't just have one initial little growth, you have a long growth. So I'm probably telling y'all stuff y'all already knew, but it is what it is. That's why I like fertilizing with chicken manure. But like these chickens I was saying over here, that's fresh manure. I'd have to get that and find somewhere to put it and let it kind of dry and let that ammonia dry out of it before you can use it. If you put fresh chicken manure on a plant, it would burn it to death. The ammonia and all, and it would just kill it within a day. Here go. What is this now? I think that was the electric people right there. Miracle. I should have flagged them down and told them, asked them if they could have. Why would they be riding around on a Sunday? But I should have flagged them down and asked them could they calibrate this meter. Because I think something is wrong with it. Either shorts in this old house. It's an old house. I mean, the old wire in this house would look like something I was singing in the house I grew up in that was not even used anymore. It was just an old wire that had been discontinued. You know, I actually grew up in a concrete block house, but it had been refurbished, and my dad added on to it. We had big, what you call, we call them a den, big living room den that people would hang out in. Behold, and here 3 years now. Channel is Journey and Behold. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Behold. Uh, I'm gonna take a picture of that name. But I done told y'all I'm bad with names. Let me take a picture of that name, and I'll look at it a little bit later. Get my phone to. That had a flash, and let me turn the flash off. That didn't do good. Where's my flash? Make sure. A whole here in the Philippines, I installed a whole house electrical monitor. They are cheap and easy to install. You here in the you bought that and done that here in the Philippines? I don't know. A whole house electrical monitor. So each appliance has a meter on it or something. I don't understand how that works. Can you explain a little bit how it works? Does each individual circuit at the breaker have some kind of a monitoring device, or each individual device have a monitor? Or I'm kind of curious how that works. I don't know. I've never connected to the mains. So how does that do a whole house monitoring? Wouldn't you need something that would monitor each individual circuit? I'll check in on that too because I am curious. Well, if any of y'all like the new LV or somebody that ain't subscribed, y'all would subscribe and help me out a little bit. 'Cause I need all the help I can get with this channel. Okay, all righty. Yeah, because I'm kind of curious how that works. A whole house electrical monitor. Let me see if I got that on here. Well, this might, I know people sometimes think I'm full of shit, but I am an electrician. I grew up wiring houses, so I know a little bit, but I've just never heard of that. Thank you, I appreciate it. Uh, I'll tell y'all another story. Talking about the electrical. I grew up with my dad. You know, my dad was an electrician in the Navy, and he's the one who taught me. You know, I didn't ever go to college or whatever in electrician. I just grew up doing it. And we would wire people's houses, just helping people out. We wouldn't even charge them. We'd go like somebody in the family or a friend of a family or whatever, and built a house. We'd go wire it up for them, no problem. My dad would be down there doing the groundwork, and I'd be the little monkey running around through the attic pulling wires, and that's how I learned. Well, years later, I was working for this guy, and he had a company, but he was also a preacher, and he built his own church. Well, he knew I was an electrician, so he told me to go over to his church and run the wires in his church. Somebody's got fireworks or something. Anyway, I went over and wired that whole church. What the heck? Everybody's looking up in the air. Somebody must be shooting fireworks. But anyway, they come out there to inspect the church after I got through wiring it. And what I didn't know, over the years, they had changed the wiring code. Not the size of the wire, just the way it has to be wired. And I'll tell y'all the difference. The way I grew up wiring houses, we would run a hot power wire from the breaker box, say like to a light. Then we would run a smaller wire from the light down to a switch. We'll go see what's going on. I don't know what that is, but ain't too many people here have guns, so I'm assuming that's fireworks, but it sounds like explosions going off. I've only seen one man here, individual with a gun, and I think his day job is he is a security guard, so that's why he has a gun. Other people here don't have guns. It's very hard to get guns here. I was told you can, but you got to go through all kind of hard permitting process. And you definitely, if you're a foreigner, I was told you don't want to have a gun in the Philippines. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble and put in jail. But anyway, yeah. So what had changed is the new code. You don't run power to the light, you run it to the light switch. Then you run the switch, you switch it over to the switch wire from the switch to the light. That way, if you turn your light off, there's no power at nowhere around that light. And that's what had changed. So I wired that whole church up. Then they come and inspect it, and I had to go around and redo that whole freaking church. Oh, the boss man was mad. Well, I mean, you know, I hadn't wired anything in years. I didn't know they'd done changed the code. It wasn't that big of a deal. But he got mad, but I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just had to move some wires around. It wasn't like extra expense or anything other than a day of my time. You know, I just had to go move the wires. I had plenty of slack. I just moved wires around where I need them and enough done. But he was mad. And shortly after that, he let me go. So, whatever. And I don't even know what the wiring code is here in the Philippines. I don't, before I built the house and started wiring it, I'd had to check in on the code, how it had to be done. And see, in the U.S., say like the switch wire going to the light is 14 gauge. The hot line coming to the switch is 12 gauge. Well, they're different colors. So an inspector don't even have to look at the wire. He walks in and he just look at the colors and tell if it's done right or wrong. And I thought, that's pretty neat. You just walk in, if you see a white wire, orange wire, yellow wire, you know what size it is because different size wires are different colors. You just walk in, look at the colors, and you know what they're not wired right or not. I bought a couple of those AVRs. What is an AVR? Are you talking about that whole home monitoring system at AVR? What are you talking about? Just automatic mowers regular. Oh, okay. Well, I'll give y'all a little input there. I should have, because I brought a bunch of things from America with me, like phone chargers, and you can read on there they work on 110 or 240 input. Well, I said, well, heck, we got 240 here. They work here in the Philippines, and they did for about a month, and every one of them burnt out. I don't know if the voltage moved or what, but I like 4 phone chargers I brought with me all quit. So then we had to go buy one here, and it's a big old thing. We bought Lou bought me a phone charger here for my phone, and it's a whole lot bigger than mine. Now, if you look at my phone chargers I brought with me, you plug them in, and you plug them into your phone. The phone will light up like it's charging, but it's not charging. It's got power, but it's not enough to charge your phone. So every one of them did the same thing. They still got power coming out of them, but it's not enough to charge your phone. So I'm assuming the voltage fluctuated or something and kind of screwed them up, burn them out, something or another. I don't know. I didn't bring my test meter with me. That's something I wanted to do and I should have, but somebody said, "Oh, you ain't gonna need that over there." That's a $500 and something flute test meter. I should have brought it with me. I don't know if any of y'all was with me here a while back when I was talking about the vaping. I was planning on stop vaping, but things has been kind of stressful here lately, and it just got to me, and I can't stop right now. When the stress dies down, maybe I'll try that again. I don't even like the vape juice that I bought here, but it is what it is. Keeps me from going crazy. I was about ready to go buy cigarettes, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, which I still got this high price computer I'm sitting now reading. I would like to get one of those regulators to plug it into because it's still working right now, but matter of time. Oh, and speaking of that, all my chargers for my cameras. I got that Osmo Pocket 3 camera. It don't want to work anymore. Seems like all my cables keep burning out. Uh, I go through these cables like water. They'll work for a couple of weeks and the cable just won't even work. And there again, it shows it has voltage coming through it, but it won't charge nothing. Why is it getting so dark in here, y'all? Is that me or is that the camera? Can y'all still see me okay? It looks like it's getting extremely dark. My baby's back home.
Where is Ben?
Huh?
Did Ben go to church? No.
No.
Because we're looking for her.
Uh, whatever we heard popping earlier, right now it's like on the next street over. Boom, 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 boom.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind them. The whole neighborhood was looking, trying to see what it was. It ain't just me. Everybody in this neighborhood's out there on the street looking.
Maybe something wrong.
Uh, I'm about to check in on that voltage regulator because I really want to protect this computer. This thing is was expensive. It's a laptop, but it's expensive. I bought this back in America for another business work I was doing. I used to do a little day trading, so I bought a very high quality, high speed computer. So, and now I'm using it to edit videos, so I don't need to lose this because Malou has an older or slower computer, and we've tried to do a little editing on it, and no, it's night and day. I don't want to start editing videos on her computer. I would go ape nuts. Uh, that may be what that was. I don't know. The whole neighborhood was looking, but I was telling Malou about it. She said, "Don't mind them." All righty. But we heard them this morning. If it was a cannon, there was a bunch of them because they was going doom, 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 doom. Now this one just a few minutes ago wasn't as fast, but they said it's about that time of year for fireworks too. So they might be somebody bought some fireworks. The Christmas season. Back home, I don't think they sell fireworks unless it's like 2 weeks before Christmas, and then they stop selling New Year's Day. I think is the last day you can buy fireworks in America. It's been a few years since I bought any. Oh, they ought not to have trouble with the fireworks catching the woods on fire around here as much as it rains. So, uh, I'm gonna check out your website later.
How many kids do you have left?
Two right now. There was 8 or 9 a few minutes ago.
How many hours?
2 hours and 30 minutes.
Who's still there? Kano?
Hmm?
Kano is there? Who's there?
No. I got a new friend here, LV 174, Nikon. Who else has been here? Elvis was here, but he's gone to bed, I reckon.
Good receipt now.
Rick was here. Well, uh, I need to, to get online with YouTube and try to get some paperwork figured out, y'all. So I reckon I'm fixing to end this live stream and start trying to deal with YouTube. They're wanting information, and I keep giving it to them, and they keep on saying that they don't have it. So they don't have the right information. So it started raining earlier. Is it dry? They felt kind of damp when I brought them in.
It's dry since yesterday.
All right. Y'all have a good evening or good day. And we'll see y'all later. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for chatting with me. We'll do it again one day. Bye-bye. Oh, wow. Well, Elvie, you must have more money than me. Or you found a deal on some land. Elvis said he built a house on a hilltop in Behold, overlooking Cebu City. Anyway, she's all grouchy looking. Well, y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.